to live in peace, to have the progress, to have a high standard, and these are the promises of the European Union. That is why Serbia has taken this as its goal. On the other hand, not the membership itself is something where we are going. This is a changing of the system, changing of actual system in order to make it more compatible to the European, because European system proved to be efficient. So what you are basically doing, you are changing a non-efficient into the efficient system, and as a result you get a reward to be a member. But even without this reward, changing the system will grant you a benefit. And that is why this government is basically doing. We are changing the system, and we are moving along this integration process, but at the same time changing the system, and it appears that in short run changing of the system is giving you more benefit than formal changing on the status.
Yes, Turkey has experienced a similar I think, because we've been in the accession actually since 2005. A little slow, but at least, Turkey has, as we're all aware, economically and through its institutions has reformed itself, and the European Union goal has helped, yes. Also, one of the top priorities when first taking your top priorities, Prime Minister, when first taking office was to ratify an energy agreement with Russia. Currently, what steps is Serbia taking towards energy security? Because this is a very important issue in terms of Turkey as well and European Union. How can Turkey and Serbia cooperate in energy sector to diversify their energy supplies?
Look, first of all, it is the fact is that we don't have any additional gas supplier than the Russian gas. The fact is that Russia is one of the biggest supplier to European Union generally, so it's not a specific case of Serbia. We do have some internal production, but this is very small, like less than 10% for gas and a little bit more for oil. So we have to rely on the external supply. You have two options: one to have a pipeline, and the other to go to the liquid gas. If you go to the liquid gas, you need to have a port. We don't have a sea, so it's very complicated. What we have been doing actually is we are currently using one connection through Hungary, and we are discussing this agreement was basically referred to the so-called South Stream to go to Serbia, not for the sake of Serbia, but for the sake of the other European countries. But since it is there, we can use the capacity and actually take a certain quantity of gas. In the meantime, we are discussing with Bulgaria for another connection, which the designs are already done, and it's even not so much expensive, but this is just will be the diversification of routes rather than of the supplier, because it will be the same gas, but maybe even the routes is important to have more than one option. So that's how we can. That's what we can do. I'm not aware of Turkey and how Turkey is resolving this situation with gas, but this is where we are. We are expecting Prime Minister Putin to visit Serbia on 23rd, I believe, of March, so it's very close. And I am also expecting that South Stream will be one of the main topics on the table. But so far as it goes to gas, that's the situation. In addition to that, our agreement has basically is inclusive with one other item, and this is the transaction with Gazprom. We have sold for 51% of our oil and gas company, which originally was state-owned, and after 2 years, the information that I was given quite recently is that last year was financially the most successful year of this very company. So I believe that the management will improve performance of the company, which is very important for us as well, since the state is a significant minority shareholder.
I see. Well, a lot of people used to think that South Stream and Nabucco were direct competitors, but the Turkish government has voiced its opinion on the subject, saying that, as you've very rightly stated, diversification of routes and diversification of suppliers are both very important for European Union for energy security. So Turkey is supportive of the South Stream project, and hopefully we'll see that come into place.
We are I can also say that we are supportive to Nabucco as well. So we would like the Nabucco, if possible, also touch our country. If not, but if it is closed, we can always make a connection. But we are not arguing against Nabucco. No, not at all. We believe that this is all necessary. You see what is the situation. I remember last year with the Ukraine gas crisis, it was disaster. So we should learn from the past and prepare for the future.
Liderler ve Kararlar'da Sırbistan Başbakanı'nı ağırlıyoruz. Kısa bir aradan sonra yeniden sizlerleyiz. Liderler ve Kararlar programında bu hafta çok değerli bir konuğumuz var. Sırbistan Başbakanı ile birlikteyiz. Kendisiyle en son Nabucco ve Güney Akım projelerini konuşuyorduk. Konuşmamıza kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. Prime Minister, actually you recently reshuffled your cabinet and decreased the number of ministers. This is something that would mean really bad. It would be very scary for Turkish ministers in Turkey within your cabinet. Can you share what the reasons are for this reshuffling? Is there any relation to the recent protests that took place in Belgrade?
No, it has nothing to do with the protesters. There was a discussion for more than 6 months about the increasing of efficiency of a current cabinet, and which basically was always somehow put into the context of a number of ministers and number of ministries. And actually number of members of the cabinet, so to speak, because some of them are not ministers. So eventually we came to a solution that from 24 we can basically reduce to 17, and a number of cabinet members from 27 to 21. So it really has nothing to do with the opposition, but it has to do with the need to increase the coherency of the ruling coalition. So this is required because lately the ruling coalition was one might think that some weaknesses were put out, so I wanted basically to make it more unified and more devoted to what we have to do in the last year of our term.
I see. And we have elections coming up in Turkey, so we'll have to see what that brings out for Turkey. Well, as far as I read, Prime Minister, actually, I don't think most of our viewers know about it. During your time working for the World Bank back in the 1980s, you did spend some time working on Turkey. And do you think, how has Turkey changed in the past 20, 30 years? What are your impressions?
I must say, although formally I was not visiting Turkey at that time, or I was working in the States in D.C., I was working in energy sector and I was receiving a lot of material. But obviously I was looking at what is going on, how the people are living, and generally what is the quality of the material received from the site. And I can say that really this is tremendous change. So you have now a modern country with, so to speak, relatively good standard. Obviously, you can never say it's enough. The standard will always go up, but with a relatively good standard, with good opportunities, and in all that respect, the country has kind of good prospect to continue, and this is something which which I believe is very good. At that time, Turkey was a relatively underdeveloped country, and those were initial stages to go and to somehow catch up the development. And somebody told me, maybe you even mentioned that, I believe that by introducing those changes in the system that are proven to be effective in the other countries, you are actually paving the path for the better life, and this is what you have done in last 20-30 years.
Thank you very much for sharing that. We Turks are proud of our country, and I've had the great pleasure of visiting Belgrade, and it's a beautiful country, and I would like to encourage our viewers from here to go visit Serbia, because it's really beautiful. As a last question, Prime Minister, I'd like to ask your opinion about what's happening in North Africa, in the Middle East, because we've been going through probably a historical moment in time, wondering if some of these countries are going to be now ruled with democracy. Will they find the right way, or what's going to happen in your nation?
The information that I have are showing that you cannot consider that each case is the same. So there are very different cases. There is probably some unsatisfaction behind all of that, but in reality there are very different situations in which you have the situation where really only the democracy required, then you have the situation in which you have tribal clashes, then also you have the other situation. So it's obviously something is happening, and I'm not sure that we are able to assess the impact of what is now being what is now happening in this area. It will take some time to see when the situation calms down and everything is settled. Then we will see what is the result. The result might be very positive in terms that the democracy will be increased, but also there are some potential other outcomes which might not be so much positive. I'm not in a position to judge now, because I don't have all the information, and I believe that no one knows exactly what will be the final outcome. What we have done in this process, we were trying to evacuate our people from the areas, war areas, and I'm taking this opportunity to thank the Turkish authorities for helping us in that respect.
I guess all we can do is to remain hopeful and wish for the best.
Yes.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much for granting me this interview. It's been an honor to host you on Leaders and Decisions.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Sırbistan Başbakanı